Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Slickmoth, and I'm back again with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Batman Bad Blood, which is the most recent animated film that DC has released. It's 2:30 a.m., and everyone in my house is sleeping, so I apologize if I'm not talking as loud as I usually would in a commentary. So, let's get right into this. I just watched this movie. It came out at midnight. I bought it on iTunes. It's $20 on iTunes. It's a little over an hour long. They have some special features as well that I think make it well worth the $20. I will say this. I absolutely loved the movie personally. It was amazing, and I'll get into my, overarching thoughts on the movie here shortly. I will get my biggest concern and potential complaint. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a complaint, although it's definitely a concern that I would have for some viewers, and that is that there's not really a character in this movie that you can particularly latch onto. Remember, this is not a story about Batman. Batman is missing, and you'll learn out in the first 6 minutes of the movie exactly what's going on. You follow Dick Grayson under the cowl of Batman. So Dick Grayson is Batman for the majority of the movie, and that's something to keep in mind. And beyond that, the four main characters in the movie, you have Nightwing as Batman, then you have Damian Wayne as Robin, and then you have Batwoman and Batwing. Now, two of those four characters, I would find most viewers to not be incredibly familiar with them. Batwing and Batwoman, they're not big right now in New 52 or anything like that, or in the Batman Arkham games or anything like that. So, that's that. And then Damian Wayne, he's Damian Wayne. I mean, he's a crybaby. He's annoying. I mean, he's everything that people don't like about Damian Wayne, myself included. There was moments where I liked him. There's one scene in the movie that I was so disgusted with him that I hated him to no end, and you will probably know exactly what I'm talking about when it goes there. But he's just very annoying, very entitled. My dad's a billionaire. He's what you expect from him. He's annoying, but he's in the movie. So my point in saying that is that two of the four characters you don't really know. You may not been exposed to any depth. And then one of them, Damian Wayne, you're probably going to hate. So that leaves you with Nightwing, who is the main protagonist in the movie. And you can definitely latch onto him, so that's not really a main concern I have, although that's something that I kind of thought of. And I think that you will notice is that they're, characters that you're supposed to maybe like, but you kind of don't because you just hate them. But the ending to this movie, oh my freaking god, it is the best ending to any movie I've seen recently that I can think of. It is easily the best movie, the ending to any animated movie I've ever seen. The ending is so hype. Oh my god. Once you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There is an event that occurs in the last 5 seconds of the movie that got me so freaking hype. It was amazing. I was clapping in my room at 1 a.m. It's kind of ridiculous, but no, this movie was really enjoyable. It was enjoyable throughout, very well paced. It's what you can expect from a Batman animated movie and also a DC animated movie. I'll say if we're comparing it to my favorite animated movie of all time, and that is Under the Red Hood, it probably falls a little short because, again, that's a much more focused story, and it's focused on characters that you are used to, more so. Batman, Nightwing, and Jason Todd, and also the Joker. This one doesn't have the Joker at all. It has antagonists that are less familiar to you. And I won't spoil it, but there's a lot of different antagonists in the movie. There's many of them, and a lot of them are not in the trailers, and you will not expect them until they show up. There's some great twists in the movie. It has better twists than any other DC animated movie I can think of, even more so than Under the Red Hood, which didn't really have any plot twist. It was very succinct in that way, but this was made or directed by the same guy who did The Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 and 2, so, this guy knows what he's doing, and he definitely delivered. This was an amazing animated movie. It had great action through and throughout. This was, in many senses, an action animated movie. I mean, there was basically over half of the movie was action scenes, where some time of combat or intense chase scene was going on or something like that. So expect a lot of action, expect some great narrative, some great character development on characters you're less familiar with, like Batwoman, at least in this interpretation, because of course these movies all draw from New 52. The best example of this is in Justice League War. That is New 52 Justice League. So you have to keep in mind is that all these DC animated movies are essentially kind of branching off from the New 52, because they're really trying to push that New 52, which they don't even call it New 52 anymore, but they're trying to push that anyway. And that's not even mentioning some of the events that had me really excited. Again, at 2 a.m. in the morning, I was just freaking out, yes! Or, my jaw dropped at some points. but I can't mention them. I can't go into much depth or detail because they are spoilers. I think a lot of the very good nostalgic moments, a lot of the great reveals and twists are spoilers, so I'll avoid them for this commentary in particular, but I will probably do a spoiler review in the future if you guys are interested in that. In fact, if you're not interested, I'm going to do it anyway because I wanted to do it. So I really want to talk about the ending. I really want to talk about some of the great twists in the movie, some of the great nostalgic throwbacks, but unfortunately I cannot do so in this particular review because I really want you guys to go in knowing what I knew. And I basically knew two things. I knew that Nightwing was in it and he was going to be Batman, and I also knew that Damian Wayne was in it. So that was kind of 50-50. Okay, I like Dick Grayson, don't like Damian Wayne. Okay, we're going to see how this goes. And I was not at all 50-50 about this movie. I'm sold that I absolutely loved it. One of my favorite DC animated movies. I highly recommend that you guys check it out. So the link will be to buy it if you want to buy it on iTunes. It's $20. Buy it in the description below. I'll have a link to that. I highly recommend it. It was a very fun movie. Again, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I'm just actually about to rewatch it right now, probably, because I'm sure there's things that I missed, and it was just a lot of fun to watch. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and if you can, feel free to drop a like. Are you looking forward to seeing this movie? Have you seen it? And if you have, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. My name's Slickmoff, and we'll see you in the next one.